Hi there viewers, I'm the Extraordinary Tourist and welcome to day 17 of the Inktober challenge. On your screen there you can see the official rules of the challenge, followed by my unofficial rules for using digital inks, which I've given myself in order to make using digital inks more similar to taking the challenge using traditional inks. In case you're wondering what my digital inks are, I'm using my Pablo Coast 22 pen display tablet, which I've teamed with a copy of Clip Studio Paint EX. Today's drawing was inspired by a painting that I did back in 2009 called There's Dust on My Guitar. It's a painting that was inspired by a song by it's a British group called the Murmurs. I think the song itself was actually called You Suck, but the line I took from it was There's dust on my guitar. And I was sort of looking around for things to draw, and I came across this artwork that I painted, and I thought, why not try and do something sort of based around that, using that character, perhaps this time playing the guitar. So I had a look around online for reference images, just to get something that looked a bit more realistic than what I might come up with if I was just making it up myself. And this was the image I sort of found from Shutterstock, which was sort of along the lines of what I was looking for. I didn't want something sort of overly rocking out or anything like that. I just wanted something, a pose that was fairly understated and perhaps sort of more mellow looking rather than sort of straight up rock and roll type imagery, given that she's got an electric guitar. Probably something that would probably match the tone of the song as well, if you know the song at all. But anyway, so that's what I did, and once I had those elements together it was fairly easy coming up with an image. And I didn't want to get too complex today because of yesterday's sketch actually took me over an hour and a half to get done from start to finish, and it seemed a lot longer than that because I was pausing in between and taking breaks and stuff. Whereas this image I think took me maybe just a bit over an hour at most. And overall I'm fairly happy with it. It's got a couple of problems that was sort of made a bit worse by the inking process, namely her lower arm there. The forearm looks a bit sort of bent and wonky, out of shape, which once I inked it looked even worse. It's almost like she's broken her arm trying to play that guitar. But given we've sort of enforced this rule of not being able to erase ink lines, that had to kind of stay, and I tried to sort of fix it as best I could with the thickness of the lines, but there's not much I could do about it after that. But I'm sure if I hadn't pointed it out you probably wouldn't have noticed it initially anyway. The other point of interest was that I actually used a physical plastic ruler to draw the neck of that guitar, because there was absolutely no way I was trusting my own arm to draw straight lines for that guitar neck. And Clip Studio Paint actually does have built-in rulers that I could have used, but I kind of felt that was perhaps taking the easy way, and there's no reason why I couldn't use an actual real ruler like you would traditionally anyway if you were going to ink that on paper and you wanted to get perfectly straight lines. It is the first time I've actually used a ruler on my touch screen. I have to say it's not quite as accurate as you'd think. You have to be sort of careful in your placement, otherwise the gap between where the pen touches and the surface of the screen, which is sort of a couple of millimeters, can be a bit out and you don't quite hit exactly where you want it. But otherwise I sort of got it in about the right position. I did the strings that way as well. I'm not going to claim by any means that guitar is accurate. If you sort of look at the strings, you'll notice it's got a few less strings connected at the bottom than what it has at the top. And to be honest, I wouldn't have a clue if it has enough sort of strings on there. It's meant to have about 6, but whether it's actually got 6 on there, I wouldn't know for sure. But anyway, that's how this image turned out. You can see it's not too bad. You get up a bit close, you'll see the lines are fairly rough as per usual and a bit shaky in places. Again, that's not necessarily because my hand's shaking, it's just that if you draw a bit too slow with your lines, it does tend to create a bit of a wobbly line. So yeah, and as I said yesterday, I don't think I'm ever going to get around that problem. Maybe have to start inking with vector lines, but doing it the same way as what I'm doing it now, and see if that makes any kind of difference. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Till next time, thanks for watching.